Good morning. Thank you for those joining us today. If you are joining us in person, please provide a public comment card located in the back of the room and bring it up front. I see we have some hands raised on the Zoom platform. I'm going to check those hands. First, we have caller Audit LA. Good morning, Audit. Do you have general public comment or comment on any of our agenda items today?
Good morning, Ms. Matson. I'm going to do general public and all items, please.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And Mona, good morning, Mona. Do you have any comment on general public comment or comment on any of our agenda items?
Good morning, Ms. Matson. Yes, general public comment, please.
Thank you.
May I approach? Thank you. Oh, you overheard. Thank you. Because Mr. Goat said it was okay in city council, and here it's a little different.
Good morning, Jill. Jill, I see you have your hand raised. Do you have general public comment today or comment on any of our agenda items?
General public comment.
Great, thank you.
Testing.
start, I'll throw my coffee away if I have. Okay, but I'll go ahead and then get rid of it. Oh, I'm sorry, are you talking to me, ma'am?
Yeah, what's the citation, ma'am?
Because again, that differs from the city council where we're not. Yeah, I just want to make sure.
She's just quoting, give the citation, not a problem. Even though it's not Blue Book.
Okay, I'll get rid of my copy. No, I'll get rid, so it's 18F.
See, that's how you talk to them. Thank you, counsel.
Oops. Caller Lurker, I see you have your hand raised. Did you have general public comment or comment on our agenda items?
General public, please and thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, yes, we are now in record mode, President King.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the regular scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Friday, May 16, 2025. Ms. Zatorsky, would you please take roll and establish quorum?
Yes, absolutely. Good morning, President King. Devin Zatorsky with the Board of Public Works, taking roll and establishing quorum. We're joined today by President King, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, and Commissioner Mitchell, and we have a quorum. We're also joined by our City Attorney Representative, Ms. Adina Hoppenstand. We have 2 public comment cards for in person today, and we have public comment also on our Zoom platform.
We will now start with general public comment, which is an opportunity for the public to address the board on public interest items and will be provided up to 1 minute per person, up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes for the general public comment segment of each regular meeting. Testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works. The board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. And we will start with in-person speakers. If I call your name, please come up to the podium and identify yourself. Candido? Candido. Thank you very much.
Manley, Candido, good morning. Watching city council this week, workers got a raise, right? Wow, they deserve it. It's tough living in the city of Los Angeles. But what do employees owe this city? Okay, we're strapped for money. Individuals are going to be getting raises in the next few years. But what really bothered me is some of them went up there, they couldn't speak English. Now you can yell at me and say, oh, you're being racist. You know what? When you've been in this country 34 years and you still can't communicate in English, who do you owe? You owe it to your family, you owe it to your children, you owe it to the city. If you're going to work for the city, improve yourself. Improve yourself. That's one of the things I love about the people, the Indians, etc. They all come here, within 5 years, they know English. I mean, I'm not a Donald Trumper. I hate Donald Trumper. But please, if you're going to get something from this city, give something back. Improve your status as a worker.
Thank you, Speaker.
And I hope you folks will help us in.
Thank you very much. Moving on to our next in-person speaker, not much.
Good morning. Counselor, I just want to say I'm glad you provide citation. And a good citation sometimes is, I don't know, which is fine. But that's why I enjoy speaking to councils. As to the balance of the body here, I filed my claim of damages for $1 because this body, because of her, this piece of trash right there, will not provide me my Braille, will not do it. So I just decided for fun, I'll just file a claim of damages for $1. And the city says, oh, she's right, she didn't have to do anything. Put it in writing to me, thank you. So what's gonna happen is I'm finishing up on who has a spouse, because since it's a civil rights issue and it's a community property state, your spouses will be named. I'll be primary counsel, there'll be co-counsels and so forth. The only person that's not going to get sued is the attorney here.
Thank you, Speaker. That's time.
Fuck you.
Thank you very much. Should we transition over to our virtual platform?
Yes. We'll start with Audit LA. Audit LA, you'll have 1 minute for general public comment.
Good morning, everyone. Mr. Torski, I apologize for calling you Miss Matson. It's early. I haven't had my coffee yet, but I want to talk about this weekend. Scientology has gotten another permit to close the street down. We've been telling you to please stop it because they keep violating the permits and everyone's rights. Well, not everyone's, just people who aren't fond of Scientology. So I'm just at my wit's end at this point where I am going to have to put in a claim if my rights are violated again. If they're not violated and you got them worked out, great. But if they keep doing it and you knowingly for a year now understand what's going on and don't do anything to correct it, then there has to be a wake-up call because enough's enough. They cannot keep, violating people's civil constitutional rights. They can't keep closing fire lanes. They can't keep abusing the public with loud, excessively loud woofer noise. Like it has to stop. And
you,
so,
Caller. That's time.
please at least send investigators.
Our next hand raised for general public comment is caller Mona. Mona, you'll have 1 minute for general public comment.
Thank you. Can you hear me, Ms. Matson?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Funny, we didn't even combine this and didn't even talk about this, but we're talking about the same thing as Audit LA. I would suggest that you look up a federal TVPA claim that happened just this year, actually 2024, the United Nations of Islam. The city was also held culpable to that. They did finally get out of it, pleading some issues, but the city was held culpable of allowing the cult to flourish because of what they did and how they worked with the cult. So the city was culpable and named in the suit. for labor violations for atrocities. So UNOI, it was a federal Department of Justice and Department of Labor claim. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you, caller. Our next hand raised is caller Jill. Jill, you'll have 1 minute for general public comment.
Okay, I'm going to continue to say stop issuing the permits. They need to really be displaying them. You have another city on the other side of the country, Clearwater, which totally rejected the demands of Scientology. Scientology finally decided to withdraw their request for street vacation because of the pushback. Well, there's going to be a lot of pushback if you go along with any request for a street vacation. You need to maybe speak to Bruce Rector, the mayor of Clearwater. He was dead set against it. Why don't you take an example from what they did and stop allowing this? Just say no to cults. Like we have the drug campaign, just say no to drugs. Just say no to cults. Bye.
Thank you, caller. Our next hand raised is caller Lurker. Lurker, you'll have 1 minute for general public comment.
Good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you are at the time of this meeting. I just got to say, I'm only an old lady who lives in America, who grew up believing in American values, American laws. And look where we are on this day, today, in this 1 minute. This is absolutely upside down. We're in the upside down world of who knows what where. Names will be named and wills will be done. I love you all. Amen. Goodbye.
Thank you, caller. All right, President King, that is the end of our hands raised on the Zoom platform.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the general public comment portion of today's meeting and move on to multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment period for up to 1 minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you would like to speak on when you are called. I don't see any in person for multiple, so we would transition over to virtual.
Yes, we have Audit LA on the line. Audit, you've said you want to speak on all items, so you will have 3 minutes. Please let us know which items you're speaking on.
Yes, thank you. All items. First, number one, just the sound of sanitation and food recovery together it just sounds disgusting. Food recovery is important. Right now, we're in a budget, though, so I don't know how much food recovery we really need to do, from Department of Sanitation. I would prefer to see, if it's food recovery, I'd rather it to see like compost recovery or compost, like to separate for compost. That's a good idea, but food recovery, that just, I don't know, doesn't sound well. And the next one, the advertising. I mean, I'm all for, I guess, some kind of advertising, but you're trying to, I'm trying to imagine, are you going to be telling people, because it's about the heat, right? Oh, drink plenty of water, stay out of the sun, all these things at bus stations. Okay, so obviously you're pushing everybody out of their cars, right? You got to go take a bus. That's fine. But the best way to help people at the bus station would be to have where you have coverings, where you, and also to build a lot of, plant a lot of trees to have an intensive tree canopy. I'd rather put the money, because we all know, right? We got to drink, our bodies tell us drink water. Our bodies tell us to seek shelter if we're sizzling, if we're so hot we can't take it. But the actual way to help would be to actually put in, ways to actually focus on having us be safer. Instead of reading an advertisement reminding me to drink water, I'd rather have something covering me from the sun. Like build the bus things better. As far as street improvements, okay, again, we for a year now been asking about updates on L. Ron Hubbard Way. And Mr. President, I appreciate your service, but you are able to give updates about different things that come before you. You're not allowed to respond to me, and Miss Happenstance could correct me if I'm wrong. Please do. But I believe that at some point in the future, you can put this stuff on the agenda. I believe that you can discuss, even if you don't want to put it on the agenda, you can at some point give updates. You just can't interact with me now because of Brown Act. It's not, I get it. It's not a conversation, it's a comment. But we want updates. And like, why should we have to feel like we have to investigate and dig, for information on trying to figure out what's going on? I mean, I was a former investigator, so yeah, investigating's fun. I enjoy it, but I'd rather just hear it from you, sir. I mean, I would love to see a different day, a change in course where you actually give information to the public that are coming here to you week after week, 3 times a week, week after week for a year. Like, please
Thank you,
be the
caller.
change.
That's
Please be
time.
different. Thank you, sir, and thank you. Have a great weekend.
All right, President King, that is the end of our multiple agenda item comments.
All right. Thank you very much. With that, we will close multiple item public comment portion of today's meeting, and we'll move forward with the approval of minutes for Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. Is there a first and a second?
So move.
Second.
All right, first by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Mitchell.
Great, we'll take the roll call starting with you, President King.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell. Wonderful, all ayes, the item is adopted and carries forthwith.
All right, thank you very much. We will move on to agenda item 1, motion, AFE Carrot Co. Good morning.
Good morning, President King. Good morning, Vice President Chavez, Pro Tem Grant, and Commissioner Mitchell. I think it is. I just have a very low voice, so I will try and talk louder. My name is Michelle Mikesell. I work for the LA Sanitation and Environment. I've been managing their food rescue programs for the last 6 years, and I am here to talk to you about the Carrot application subscription for AE 2546D090. So I know that you have been hearing a lot about Senate Bill 1383 and its requirements. But under SB 1383, we are required to monitor, track, and report edible food recovery activities from the Tier 1 and Tier 2 edible food generators to CalRecycle on an annual basis. The law regulates jurisdictions to document volume of edible food rescued, donation pathways, and compliance status of regulated entities. This includes on-site inspections and enforcement. In January 2023, the citywide Organics Ordinance 187711 was passed in order to implement the mandated organics program and create an enforcement vehicle. Carrot is a web-based application designed to be an all-inclusive data tracking tool to assist municipalities in establishing a comprehensive SB 1383 complaint edible food waste prevention program. The data that is collected by the application meets all of the regulated requirements of SB 1383 and the city's organics ordinance on an annual basis. The Carrot outreach materials have been translated into Spanish, Korean, Vietnamese, and Chinese, and the application is currently translated into Spanish, and if other languages are needed, we will have it translated at that time. We promote Carrot as the application that the city uses to EFGs and FROs But we also communicate that the data collection does not have to be on Carrot if they are using other applications, including Excel worksheets, as long as the city is receiving our required information. LA San, while the front end application is free for the food rescue organizations and edible food generators using it, there is a cost for the municipalities to receive the compliance inspection and reporting purposes, and that requires a $30,000 subscription each year. LA San has received a CalRecycle Local Assistance Grant to fund LA San's subscription for 2 years, when we were awarded $60,000, $30,000 to be spent in fiscal year 24-25, and $30,000 to be spent in 25-26, fiscal year 25-26. The Carrot application subscription is a relatively small investment each year for the high quality data that helps not only our Tier 1 and Tier 2 EFGs and our food rescue organizations and services maintain compliance to the state of and city regulations, but also advances the city's sustainability and food security goals. We would like to recommend that Carrot AE2546D090 be approved for the annual subscription of 1 year to fulfill the CalRecycle Local Assistance Grant funding of $30,000 for this fiscal year 24-25. And you'll get to see me back next year for the second half. Thank you for your attention. Any questions?
All right, thank you very much. Is there any single item public comment for this one?
There are no hands raised on the Zoom platform.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions, comments, or feedback on item number 1? Okay, seeing none, is there a first and a second? First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you.
Great. We will take the roll call starting with you, President King.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez. Aye. President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell. Wonderful. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to item number 2, AFE Outfront Media Group, LLC. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Marta Segura for the Climate Emergency Mobilization Office. I thought since there were some comments on heat relief that I could give a little bit more context as to why the campaign is necessary. I think I've mentioned before that heat season is now from mid-June to mid-November. We have more frequent heat waves. They're more intense. They're of longer duration. And we have them from 3 days to 15 days. And sometimes even when those end, we get another week of heat waves. So that makes LA's heat much more dangerous than it was 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. So we need to prepare the public and not only share that information with them, but remind them that they need to plan ahead. And this AFE is for specifically for bus sides with Outfront Media, which is the only contractor that does the work with the Metro and DOT for the bus sides. We will have, so I hope that's helpful. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that this is a $46,000 that will go on Dash's Metro buses as a public service announcement to ensure that the public gets the information on, and just a reminder with all of the other information that we're putting out there that they need to prepare for extreme heat. We also have, this is one part of our multicultural, multilingual, multifaceted campaign that will go out citywide. We also distribute materials to libraries, district offices, other departments, over 75 nonprofit organizations. And we just want to see this as a collective part of that campaign. Fortunately, with this campaign, we're also collaborating with the LA Regional Climate Collaborative They actually designed this for us because it's a horizontal design that goes on our buses. So we have some mapping here, some pictures that I'll show you later of how the buses looked last year. And I guess I'll open it up to questions now. Again, this is a 2-cycle campaign. Each cycle is for 4 weeks, but sometimes we get really lucky and they leave them on much longer than 4 weeks at a time. So we only have it from, for those 2 cycles. And we hope that they do leave it on for longer than a 4-week cycle. Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any single item comment for agenda item 2?
There are no hands raised for item 2.
All right, commissioners, any comments or questions? All right, seeing none, I'll move to approve item number 2. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by both President Pro Tem Grant and Commissioner Mitchell.
Take the roll call starting with you, President King.
Aye?
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell. Wonderful. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Have a good one.
Moving on to item number 3, oral report from the Office of Community Beautification, Mr. Paul Rax.
Good morning. Paul Rutch, Director of Office of Community Beautification. First off, apologies. I was supposed to give this presentation last Friday and did not realize the board was meeting out in Van Nuys, so apologies for missing that. Secondly, congratulations, President Kang. This is my first chance before you at a board meeting. I went back and I added it up. I believe you're the 15th president of the Board of Public Works that I've had the honor of working under in my city career. So again, congratulations. Quickly to present the biannual update of activities for the Office of Community Beautification, starting with the graffiti removal program. Looking at our stats where we were at the end of April, we're projecting that by the end of the fiscal year, OCB contractors will have removed over 35 million square feet of graffiti from over 658,000 locations across the city of Los Angeles. This will roughly be most likely about the same amount of graffiti that we removed last fiscal year, which was the most graffiti we've ever removed in a particular fiscal year. So the contractors continue to be out there and do the work. They have had some challenges with the new MyLA 311 system, but at this point, all our contractors are getting the hangs of it. The system, the bugs have all been worked out, and all contractors are now able to access requests and enter the work that they're doing into the new MyLA 311 system. Turning to the various public right-of-way cleanup programs through our OCB contractors, and this includes Clean LA, Clean Streets, and various council office funded operations using some of their supplemental funds, as well as the River Rangers cleanups along the LA River. In total, OCB contractors are on pace to have cleaned over 42,500 locations along the public right-of-way through the end of the fiscal year. They will have collected over 202,000 bags of trash, litter, weeds, and debris, as well as over 75,000 illegally discarded items from along the public right-of-way. In terms of volunteer cleanup projects, so far this year, OCB has helped coordinate and support 244 volunteer cleanup events, which involves 14,333 volunteers. These volunteers have provided over 50,000 hours of community volunteer service to the city of Los Angeles, cleaning and beautifying their local communities. Extrapolating the value of volunteer hours, that's roughly a donation of $1.9 million made by various community residents to cleaning up the city. Just a few other projects to highlight. Recently, we released a RFP for graffiti removal services. Yesterday, we got our final evaluators scores, so we now have all the scores of the RFP. We'll be consolidating those, looking at those, and coming to the board in the next week or so with our recommendations for approval for graffiti abatement contracts. Through a grant from Keep America Beautiful recently and Coca-Cola, we had an Earth Day event out in the Sepulveda Basin, and we've also had several information fair, rain barrel giveaway, and tree distribution cleanup events, also through grants of Keep America Beautiful. At this point, we've conducted 4 over the past few months. We have 2 upcoming, one on June 7th in Council Districts 8 and 9, and again on June 28th in Council Districts 4 and 13. Looking forward to the summer. On August 23rd, OCB and Keep Los Angeles Beautiful will be hosting the 7th annual Citywide Beautification Conference. That will be held at the Lincoln Heights Recreation Center from about 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So 10 o'clock a.m., 1 o'clock p.m. Certainly, I want to highlight support for Mayor Bass's monthly Shine LA series of cleanup projects, with the next large-scale project coming up on May 31st as part of the AAPI cleanup events. And then just finally want to close with, challenges that are upcoming towards us. Obviously, budget issues are going to be a challenge. Beginning in July, we're projecting that we'll have about 20 to 24 fewer graffiti abatement crews working on the streets daily, which may account for roughly 6 to 8 million fewer square feet of graffiti being removed on a citywide basis. We're also going to have fewer public right-of-way cleanup crews out there due to various budget cuts, but our commitment, both from OCB and our contractors, is to do the very best job that we can with the available resources that we have. So with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any public comment on this item?
We have no new hands raised.
All right, commissioners, any questions, comments?
Ms. Rocks, could you please find out what the issues are that the vendors are having with the My 311 application? I'm aware of some similar issues with regard to sanitation, and I'm aware that the contractor did go out and they're going to be making some corrections. So could you find out what those are, and we can try to find out what the remedy would be?
Yes, yeah, I can definitely find those for you. A lot of it was just the new system is actually a lot more complicated than the old system. And so there was a huge learning curve in them learning how to utilize it. But there were also bugs in the system for whatever reason. Some of our contractors were not able to make assignments to their field crews, or field crews were not able to sign into the program. But yeah, OCB had some difficulties, sanitation had difficulties, but I can get you specifics on that, Commissioner.
Any other comments or questions? Vice President Chavez.
Yes, thank you, Paul, for the report. I really appreciate the metrics, and I know that there's a lot of data that you guys collect, tracking. My question is more about the contractors that we our partner organizations that do the graffiti work and all of the other community beautification projects throughout the city. Have you received, do you have information, like have you received feedback from the contractors about any financial hardships that they have been dealing with, specifically due to challenges that they're dealing with due to payment delays? Is that the feedback that you kind of collect? And
Due to,
payment delays, delays in payments that we're making to them? Because I know that I've had that received concerns about payment delays, and I know that sometimes that provides that causes major financial hardships. A lot of these are nonprofit organizations that have to pay their contractors. But I was wondering if you track that information, because I'd like to better understand how that impacts their service delivery, if at all. So that's something that if you could report back to me on. The second thing I'd like a report back on is what is the current payment processing timelines for OCB contractors, and what are the bottlenecks in payment workflow? And then I can provide these to you in writing as well. And then just sort of maybe give us some recommendations. Are there specific technology or administrative barriers that prevent faster contractor payments? That's another thing that we should be looking at. Obviously not an immediate fix, but if something that we can look at long term. And maybe just an overview, an outline of the steps in the current payment approval process, and identify potential areas for streamlining those payments.
sure, I'd be happy to get you that information. I can say on a global scale that this was a major issue a couple of years ago, and Public Works had a task force along with the mayor's office, and really probably over 90% of the invoices that come, the contractors receive payment within, I believe the average is about 14 to 15 days of when they've submitted it. There are always different issues here and there. Sometimes, we've had problems where contractors have changed their address, and then that leads to delays because the address on the invoice doesn't match what the city has on the paperwork. Or sometimes when there's a brand new contract, it takes a while to get everything all set up, and so it takes longer to make payment. But roughly speaking, there have been significant improvements in the timeliness of invoices. But I do know that, there's still cases here and there where a particular invoice either gets lost in email or it just takes longer to make payment or something like that. Certainly, challenges that the contractors are facing is the increase in costs in doing business and stuff like that, cost of paint, cost of transportation, workers' comp insurance. All of those items have gone up to again create challenges for our contractors. So at the same time that their costs are going up, including having to pay higher prevailing wage costs beginning in July, the budget allotment to them is going down. So it is going to create a problem for us. One of the positions that I know within the board was up for elimination was an accounting position that specifically worked with OCB and the OCB contractors to get payments. So certainly that, I'm not sure what the outcome on that budgetarily will end up being, but, if we lose a dedicated accountant who works with the various nonprofits to make payments, it's not going to go in a good direction for us.
Great, thank you. And if you can just provide that information within 30 days, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is President Pro Tem Grant.
Just to follow up, thank you, Paul. If you could provide whatever form that takes, that information to Elise Matz, and then she could distribute it to all of us.
Sure.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
Quick question. I know many of our services, there's major delays, but I know graffiti abatement is one of the more faster. So what's the current sort of average time when folks report it to 311?
Right now, the current average is about 48 hours from when somebody reports it. In a lot of cases, it's 24 hours or less. In some cases, it takes a little longer for various reasons. Sometimes contractors have to wait until there's like a no parking day or something like that to get in there. But generally speaking, right now, as of where we are with the number of crews that we have, the turnaround time is typically 24 to 48 hours. By contract, we don't really consider a request overdue until it's gone beyond 3 days. So 72 hours is kind of the expectation that we have. Those turnaround times are probably going to have to be reevaluated in the new fiscal year, as we will probably have fewer crews working on a daily basis. Unfortunately, it's going to be the case where fewer crews leads to more graffiti on the walls that's going to stay up there longer, that's going to create more people probably calling 311. So we're going to end up with more requests that are going to take us longer to to try to handle. So we again will do the very best that we can.
And a quick follow-up. So currently that is a 7-day operation?
That's correct. 7
Okay.
days a week we have abatement crews out.
Okay. And then for public's information, I think it's important for folks to know that because of liability and other reasons, we cannot clear graffiti that's above a certain height. Can you elaborate on that?
It's not that we can't do it or not that we don't do it. It's just much more expensive because you have to have the crews with the big bucket lift ladders. They have to have extra levels of insurance to go up, onto rooftops or on those ladders. And so we do have about three to four crews that can do that work, but that's throughout the whole city of Los Angeles. It would be very cost prohibitive to us if every single contractor that we had to have a high level bucket lift and the insurance. So we do provide that service. It's not something that's turned around within 24 to 48 hours. Typically, we kind of move them to different parts of the city on a weekly basis, and they kind of batch up all their high ones. So 1 week they're in the West Valley, and they'll take care of all their high requests in the West Valley. Then maybe the next week they're in West LA and taking care of them or something. So.
Thank you very much. Any last minute questions or comments from the commissioners? All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Everybody have a great weekend.
Moving on to our last item, number 4, status update on major upcoming street improvement projects from Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
President King.
Can you speak into the mic?
Oh, sorry.
Or you can feel free to take it too. Yeah.
Better?
Instead of leaning, you can take it out.
It's a little better?
Yeah. You can take it out of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. That'll be easier. Yeah.
All right. All right. Good morning, President King, Vice President Chavez, Commissioner Mitchell, and Pro Tem Grant. It's great to be in your presence again. Also, the City Attorney, and also the Bureau representatives. It is great to be in your presence again today. I'm providing this information. Oh, sorry. My name is Sherrod Nichols, the General Superintendent overseeing the Street Renewal Division, responsible for resurfacing, reconstruction, and slurry seal. This information is provided to keep the public informed, as well as the stakeholders. Also to minimize confusion, provide information to the public to make sure that everybody's aware of all the projects that we have throughout the city. Currently, for the next 2 weeks, we don't have any major street projects throughout the city, but we do have projects for next week. We have 10 projects for roughly around 6.7 lane miles. And for the week after, we have 9 projects for 5.9 lane miles. We have coordinated with the stakeholders, the residents, the business owners, also LADOT for traffic control assistance. If you have any questions, you can contact me at sherrod.nichols@lacd.org, or you can call me at 213-847-8255. 3200. I provided information on some of the other things that we do. We are the first responders for the first responders. In order for the first responders to get out to the locations, LAPD and LAFD, we are the first to go out for any storm response, to clear the roadways, to ensure that there's passability, so that if there's any emergencies or anything like that, we can make sure that the road is clear. So the first picture this is actually a Mandeville Canyon. So during the storm response, we had a large undertaking of debris removal and also mud removal at this location. Actually, I just provided a couple of locations. We did probably 2 to 3 weeks at Mandeville Canyon removing debris. Next week, we're going to have a presentation with, for the board with some of our team that actually did the work. So that's, I want to, thank my team for everything that they do, because they're all stars. Here are the before and afters, but other than that, that concludes my report. I'll take any questions.
All right, seeing that there's no public comment, any questions or comments from the commissioners? Commissioner Mitchell.
Mr. Nichols, based upon your comments with regard to LAPD and LAFD, would you say that the street services teams are truly the first responders to these types of incidents?
Yes, ma'am. We are the first responders to the first responders.
And the pictures that you distributed along with another copy of your report, these are pictures in what area?
Mandeville Canyon, it's roughly from the 2600 block to the 3800 block of Mandeville Canyon.
And that's in the Palisades area?
It's CD11.
CD11?
Yes, ma'am.
And where exactly are they? Is this area in the Palisades area?
No, ma'am.
Okay, where is it?
It's east of the Palisades.
Okay.
It's not in the burn area.
It's what?
It's not in the burn area.
It's not in the burn area.
No, ma'am.
But there's mudslides still, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know when these pictures were taken?
Yes, February. Yeah, we did. We started work over there February 12th to roughly around the end of February. And next week I can provide more details as far as how much debris we removed, how many trucks that we had, and all the personnel that we had available to respond.
All right, any other comments or questions? Seeing none, have a great weekend.
Thank you, too.
Does that clear our desk for today?
Yes, President Kang, that is the end of our agenda items.
Before we conclude, want to wish happy Jewish American Heritage Month, as well as Hapa Day being recognized at City Council. Our next meeting will be on Monday, May 19th, 2025, and the meeting is now adjourned at 10:44 a.m.